As I'm diving deeper and deeper into storytelling, I kind of find myself always needing those B-roll shots that I just never have. And as much as I could go on Storyblogs or Motion Array or whatever else they're called, all those stock sites, I just don't feel like it's the same if I just use stock footage of other people compared to using stock footage of myself or stock footage. So these past days, I've been experimenting with just creating and capturing some of that kind of stock footage-like video that I always need, whether that's when I'm sitting down and pretending like I'm scripting, whether that's in a notebook or on my computer, or I'm just doing something like editing or color grading. I kind of want to show that in like a more visual way instead of just sitting here and talking to the camera. So that kind of gives it more balance. And whenever I get to that point where I feel like I need those shots, it's always when I'm in the edit and I've already recorded everything, I've packed down my camera and lighting equipment and everything, and I just don't feel like setting it all up again. So these past days, as I'm fumbling around with figuring out what to put on YouTube and what to create and what to make, I thought this was a nice little video to make as well. So I've shot a little bit of B-roll of how I did it, but the main things that I wanted to capture today was some shots of me scripting and typing on my computer from different angles, some close-up, some medium, some wide, that I can use for different scenarios, both cutting them for vertical, but also just using them here on YouTube. And then some scripting in like a notebook, writing, drawing a little bit, also some close-ups and mediums. Then I want to have some shot of my screen from my computer, just kind of pretending to edit and moving around in the color grading a little bit. Some of those shots that I can quickly just implement, and for me it doesn't matter that it's the same shots that I use over and over again. That's kind of how I grew my Instagram in the first place when I did that. For me, it's just tools to have in kind of the backpack or in my SSD that I can always drag in and quickly add to my timeline to create more story. And as we start traveling around New Zealand, going trips, I want more shots of me shooting with a camera and walking around in nature and stuff like that I can use to tell the same stories as well. But that's kind of like why I'm trying to build out a catalog now. Instead of always having to try and find those shots in different places, then I've just decided to kind of create my own stock videos. So the important parts for creating this has been having a light, so I can always just balance everything. I'm using the Zhiyun Molus X100 that I've always been using because it's easy to travel with a Godox softbox on it. I only use this one light today to light everything and set everything up. And then I've been using my Canon R6. Right now I have an ND filter on. I haven't been having that on earlier, but what I had on instead was this matte box that I've talked about before that I don't really like, but right now it's the only polarizing filter I had. And to make sure that the screen was actually visible in all the shots, especially those where I'm sitting editing, but also some of those where I'm typing, instead of having like a magenta cast or looking weird, having the polarizer on just helps to cut through those reflections and make it look a little bit nicer. And then the only thing that I had to be aware of and kept running into was that you could see the light in the windows that I have behind me when I was kind of doing different compositions. So I had to try and move that around. Sometimes I would bounce it up against the wall. Sometimes I would light it directly towards the computer and just kind of like try and angle the screen so you couldn't see the light. And I've just been playing around with different things. The point of making these for me today was not that it had to be perfect. It was more so just that I could have it so I can use them in the future. And the important part for those videos that I'm using them for is not that it's perfect, it's just to guide or give more visual effect. And I think I'm kind of in a stage right now that it doesn't have to be full-on effort and set up a huge lighting setup and do stuff. It's more just getting those shots so I can continue building, continue doing stuff and feel like I'm moving forward most of all. Other issues that I've run into is that my camera keeps on dying. I don't know what's wrong with my batteries at the moment, but they don't charge fully, so they keep on dying. And the light suddenly died at one point. I think my adapter overheated or something. It's luckily fine now, using the light again. So just like some minor things, but all in all, I think I've spent an hour, maybe an hour and a half, just creating some of these shots. And because I tried to do B-roll and stuff at the same time, behind the scenes, it's taking a little bit longer than what it could have. But my encouragement with this video is just to, if you have those shots that you're always missing, especially if it comes to something as easy as just sitting down and creating something on your computer today or something. It just helps to slowly build up that catalog of those shots that you have, so you can always use them again and again. And no, it doesn't matter if you're telling different stories, that you're using the same shots. The important part is that you are telling the story, and the visuals are helping move that story or tell that story. So that's kind of the whole purpose and idea of what I've been doing today. Tomorrow we're heading on an exciting adventure, first adventure here in New Zealand, and I hope to make more of like a cinematic kind of travel film about why I've always wanted to come to New Zealand, even though we're not going to one of the most epic locations here. Just the fact that we are getting out of Auckland and seeing something is just super exciting, and I'm super excited to explore a little bit more of the country as well. So look out for that video, hopefully soon. It's the plan to either make that the next one or within the next few videos. Just have fun with it and finding my way through the whole storytelling chapter that I'm in right now and figuring out what the direction is going to be, because I don't want to just start reviewing cameras or gear and stuff. I want to make videos about that too, but I want to do it in a different way, and what that format is, I think I just need to start experimenting, doing some videos. So lowering the effort, lowering the expectations, and then just trying to output more. So the plan is also to do 2 YouTube videos a week, and I'm also ramping up to doing a reel every single day, just to output more, to practice more, to increase my workflow, and to get better at storytelling and everything around it. That's really the only way for me to progress, is just to get out of my own head with lowering the effort and expectations and just outputting more and creating more, and thereby improving everything. So yeah, a lot more to come, a lot more fumbling around, but that's kind of the journey that I'm on right now. Today I just thought it was fun to share this little part of what I'm doing now, to capture those shots, and maybe encourage you to do the same in case that it's something that you're needing as well. Maybe not the same shots as me, but something else that you can just start to build. It takes half an hour to get some of those shots. If you do that a few times a week over the next month, then you have a huge catalog of those shots already, and then you can just kind of start building the stories and things that you need from that. So with that said, that's it for today, and yeah, I'll just see you in the next one. Until then, take care.